in the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down.
We about to put you up on game. QOC, you gotta know the name. Keep it real, you know ain't nothing changed. Set the standard, staying in our lane. Yep, that's what you thought. Taking the cost, taking no loss, keeping you up on what's happening. And now that I got your attention, let me mention this.
In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down.
What is going on, everybody? Today, we are doing our first show collectively with the fellas. I'm Jae Marie, co-host of In the Mix, movies, music, and more. I'm messing it up already, y'all. I've got my partners in crime, Pryme of CSUM, and Original Soul, Brandon. So you guys go ahead and introduce yourself. Go ahead, Pryme, and then go ahead, Brandon. Let us know who you are.
Already, this your boy Pryme by Design, always in the chocolate state of mind, always. And I'm here in the mix, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing, finna let y'all know what's going down, music, movies, etc. You understand what I'm saying? It's your boy Pryme.
There we go. Go ahead, Brandon. Introduce yourself, sir.
Peace. It's your man, Original Soul, M4G Entertainment, M4G Radio. And we here in the mix. We finna do this thing big for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Already.
Okay, guys. So we got a good show for you. A great show. We got some trending topics we're gonna get into. I don't know what's coming up, but we're gonna give our take on it. So we're gonna go ahead and get on into it. The first, what we gonna say? The first recording, the first video, first pictures, first something, first trending topic. Hit us with it, Egypt.
Let's go.
Are we?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
They get on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like fuck. Mustard on a beat, bro, deep boat, any rap, he a freak though, man down, call like Amber Lambs, tell him breathe. Let them boys to the cross, they walk around like G's. What's up with these Japonio? Trying to see Compton. In the street can hate me, bump them all in they mama. How many options you really got? I mean, it's too many options. Finna crash on his body, I'm John Stockton. What? Beat your and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up the skull. Walking down the whole time, I know he got some hoe. Paul, extort, fully different.
I'm over here jamming.
Already.
What do y'all think about that Super Bowl performance? What is your take on it?
Okay, let me go first. First of all, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles for going in and thoroughly dismantling the Kansas City Chiefs.
Shout out, Brandon. Really? You know my team is. Oh my God, my team is the Chiefs. Okay, I'm gonna deal with it.
I knew you were gonna say that. That's why I did that.
I was happy to see African American men at the highest level of competition competing. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was 3 black men you know, on the major stage. I thought that was amazing. And I thought that was a massive, massive message, you know. So performance wise, we're gonna focus on the Super Bowl performance, not the
Okay.
game.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
the game. Now, because I know Pryme, you Dallas, right?
I'm
So, you
a
know,
Dallas
you didn't have
Cowboy.
a dog in the
Unfortunately, right
fight.
now.
You didn't
Right
have a
now,
dog in the fight.
I didn't. I didn't. I was happy for both men. They from Texas, so shout out to
There you
Texas.
go.
They are.
I'm happy for them. You know,
Look, they had Jalen Hurts out there with that cane goal and that stogie in his mouth, looking like Dino from New Jack
Nino
City.
Brown,
You
huh?
seen it?
Yeah.
I was split. I was split because the
Mhm.
underdog, I'm always a fan of the underdog, and we
Mhm.
weren't the underdog, or we
Yeah.
weren't the underdog that they were rooting for. I'll say that. You
Okay.
know,
Right.
we wanted the three-peat, and that was something that was never done and has yet to be now never done. So how about that?
Yeah.
They
More to
weren't
look
gonna let
forward
y'all
to.
do that. They weren't gonna let y'all do that. That wasn't gonna happen.
I kind of felt like they might have had a different person in mind for that one. So we let them have it. We let them
But
have it.
Jalen Hurts came to play. His whole team came to play. Like you said, we ain't gonna focus too much on the game, but they came to play. They took it.
That no.
Yeah.
We can say that they came to play. They
Yeah.
came. They were there like they were supposed to be. I don't
Right.
know where we was at. To be honest, we wasn't
Y'all
at
was
the
out of
game.
there. You know, y'all,
We was out of there.
sometimes you get that to me they look lethargic, like you know, they done been there so many times, you know, like that's what it seemed like to me. It was like they didn't have the same fire for it. They didn't have the same fire.
And then that proved it. And Patrick Mahomes said essentially he fucked up, you know, and it was on him. So I'm like, okay, we took accountability for it. So
His offensive line gave him nothing.
they did.
That's a good leader. That's a good leader.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And this is not a sport. I'm not a sports head. I know we getting ready to get somebody in here, maybe that's gonna be able to deal with the sports and stuff like that. But I am a football head for my Chiefs. And you know, this was a conversation I wanted to talk about. But the performance, though, let's talk about K Dot's performance. What do you think that meant for hip hop? What do you think that meant for the message was massive, but what do you think that meant for Black people?
Let me say this. I will go on record and say that I've never been that big of a Kendrick fan, but seeing what he did on the Super Bowl platform, it is I've been listening more and more to him now. It's like I see what he's trying to do and how he's evolved over the years from where I remember Kendrick, he came in as a conscious hip hop artist, right?
He absolutely did. He stayed on it.
He stayed on it
predominantly.
So the way that he's doing things now, it's like he had to evolve with the times to make his message relatable to the new generation that appreciates the way that hip hop sounds now. So what he did on that stage, on a national stage, to be able to do that in front of all those, look, he's turning me into a fan.
Well, but see, there was a lot of hip hop heads, and I'm talking about hip hop aficionado types that was like, oh, hell no, this was lackluster. This wasn't what hip hop is about, and da 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 da. And I think they missed the message. I think they missed the message on that. And it was a lot of people. I was surprised to hear having a problem.
I wouldn't say so much that that a message was missed, because for a whole week, all I saw up and down the timeline was, oh, Kendrick said this. Did y'all miss this? Did you see what this really meant about what he was saying? It's like they dissected that entire halftime performance all the way down to what Serena did.
Yeah.
I think when you got so many people talking about the performance, whether they with it or not, the message was had.
That part.
I think Kendrick did a great job. It was very entertaining to me, with all of the moving parts. Samuel Jackson, you know.
Yes. Uncle Sam.
I had a great time looking at it. I like to learn, and he gave us a message inside of a performance. It wasn't just a performance, and I don't think some of those naysayers. I think some of those people are not they were just wanting to be entertained, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? He gave us entertainment plus knowledge, and I appreciate him for that. And I think as a former artist and looking at what he did, I was like, man, I appreciate you. I applaud him. I'm like you, Original Soul. I wasn't a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, but I'm becoming. I'm becoming because, like I said, you that's what we needed. It was a breath of fresh air to me as a hip hop person. I loved it. I loved it. It was great.
And my thing too was just be entertained. You know, you want to go and you want to have a good time with your family and just enjoy a good show. I think a lot of times we forget that we can also enjoy what's going on instead of just dissecting everything for face value.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. I am a huge Kendrick K. Dot fan. Ever since my minivan was on his one of my first vehicles was that burgundy minivan that he had on.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah, there you go. That one. I was like, I don't think I ever knew the name of that album. I just knew it for the actual minivan on the cover of it. So that was funny. But I've been a fan since then. So to see that he took this to such a massive level and he stayed true to his form of art and to his consciousness, I thought that was dope because a lot of people would have turned to the more popular songs, turned to what's that song where he was like, drink, pour up, drink, that one? Where it was like swimming pools.
Right.
If he'd have done that one, I'd have been like, oh, man, you had a chance to really speak to us and you chose songs that were more radio popularized versus them being ones that had a massive message to it. So I appreciated that he did take the controversial song and put that in there, and then the ex-girlfriend of Drake was dancing to it. But there was even a message in that, and her message was because when she did it during the tennis, one of her tennis matches, it became like such a controversial thing for her to do, and they thought she should have had less black whatever dancing or whatever it was that they were trying to say she was in the wrong for doing. So I thought that it was such a strategic approach to bringing black people to the forefront, and then who was there at the game was some people's bosses, so it was good to just see that we stood on business.
Basically, he didn't get out there and just really look interesting and
shuck and
not
jive
have anything to say. He didn't get out there and just really look interesting, just like he didn't have any, he wasn't going to have any type of substance or anything. It's like, go out there and do what you know to do. And it's always going to be someone that has something bad to say about something, just like all of the previous Super Bowl shows, halftime shows. It's always somebody that has to find that negative something to pick at. And it's like, are you entertained at all? I know a lot of folks saying, are you entertained? I was entertained. We were eating and having a good time.
Yeah, he didn't have us jumping up and down. First of all, the dance moves was appropriate for our age range too. Right. We being real. Like, I don't need to be jumping, hopping, and kickboxing and all this other crazy stuff during a performance anyway. So you wanna. It was appropriate all the way around to me.
You're not going to please everybody.
You're not going to please everybody.
And I think he went with that approach, and I'm sure he knew as an artist and how long he's been in the game, he knows that you're not going to please everybody, and you just got to do what you do. I like I said, I applaud him for being bold and presenting us with a message plus entertainment. He coupled entertainment with message. So
Aubrey was definitely not pleased.
Yeah. And like I say, you going and to me, he moved more on that stage and on that platform than anybody else I've seen move up there. Everybody that's performed, he's moved. He moved a lot. He had moving parts, dancing, stage switching. The camera was going everywhere. I don't understand how people wasn't, entertained. It was crazy to me.
It was a great performance. I think all the way around. The message was massive, and he stood on business for Black people. And I think that's what's I think huge in this climate we're in. I'll say
Right.
it that way.
Right.
I think
right.
it's huge.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah.
I applaud him.
Let's go to the next. Oh yes, like, subscribe, and be sure to share this show if you are interested or you want to, let people know about our show In the Mix. So QOC Network, let us know. Let's move on to the next subject. So let's go ahead with the next one. Let's talk about the next trending topic.
What we got?
And we've got this interesting situation. So a Georgia teacher was arrested for slapping a 5th grade student, calling him Mr. Lady. Now, in this climate, what can we let's take it off of Pryme's
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man.
let's
Wow.
let's
I was just gonna
go
say,
ahead and take that
wow.
down. Let's take it down a second.
Wow.
But let's
Wow. It's like that. Oh my God. Egypt.
so we just wanted to kind of give it a little bit of a emphasis on that. Now, okay, to be sensitive in this day and age, right? We do have transgender teachers, all sorts of industries, right? So is this now appropriate or inappropriate? Now, him slapping the kid, I understand that's the inappropriateness, but what if he comes to school and he's dressed like this all the time? It's a elementary school, right?
Yeah.
Was it 5th grade?
5th grade.
So do we fault them for doing that, or where's the line? Where do you all think the line is with that?
Let me say this. I'm old school, right? And it was always taught to me that regardless of what this person looks like, you got to show respect to your superiors at all times. Because there were times when, we could get really disrespectful. And the only thing I could see coming at us was corporal punishment and that paddle. And I've caught that paddle a few times from, my mouth being a bit disrespectful towards a teacher. And, these kids nowadays, they seem like the younger they get, the more grown they think they are. And I mean,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
So,
and whatever this teacher decides that he wants to do with his life, that's him. We still have to respect the fact that he is trying to teach us something.
Now, I guess here's the whole thing. Does he come to school with the pink lipstick on and the feminine dress attire every day? Is this a normal thing for him? Because my thought is, okay, if this is a normal thing for him, then for him to be treated like that, where the kids have always seen him like this, he's never switched up. I think that there's a level of parenting that has to be involved with that. Like, parents need to hold themselves accountable too, because your kids are going to see all kinds of things. So what if he had one arm? What if he had some sort of dismemberment or something like that? If kids aren't taught how to be tolerant of different types of people, then, this is maybe a result of that. But him smacking the teacher, or the teacher smacking him rather, was it slapping? Yeah, the 5th.
Yeah, he slapped.
He slapped the Georgia teachers arrested for slapping the 5th grade student. So, Pryme. No, okay, we're gonna put it back up again.
So with me, I'm with all of that. I've been in the school district. Okay, let me see.
Take. He like, oh, stick and move.
But I've been in the school teaching. I drive buses now, so I definitely deal with the kids. I'm a barber, so I deal with kids. And I definitely understand. We definitely need to teach them respect, for sure, no doubt. With your superiors or just adults, period. I teach my son that. My son is a high schooler right now, and he sees certain things kind of like that in there now, with the nails painted with the men and all that type of stuff. And he's text me and called me like, Dad, this is that. He got questions about it, and I tell him, I say, man, hey, just respect him, man. As long as he's not doing anything to you, respect him. But there's a flip side to this thing.
Yeah.
When does it come down to the kids being respected by the superior? If I'm coming in there And see, one thing is this. This one thing we got to understand, that it's not normal for totally normal for men to dress like that and to promote what they do in their bedroom and outside. It's not normal to do that. So when a kid sees that, that's a shocker to the kid too. And that's a distraction. We like to talk about distractions in school. That's a distraction. So did he bring that up on himself? A kind of too? Because it's a two-way street to the thing. It's a two-way street. Did he bring that up on himself? Because you're dealing with fifth grade kids. And I get fifth grade kids on my bus. And those kids are goofy. They are, you know how they obnoxious. You can teach them all day long, but when they get away from their parents and stuff like that,
the impressionable age.
They gonna tap in with their peers.
Exactly. So if I come out the house and I go get on that bus promoting what I feel like I want to be, am I not going to? I mean, it's up. I got to know that it's going to be some kind of pushback or some kind of a fiasco that's going to go on with me doing that. So I don't totally blame the kid or the parent. I blame the parent for sure. You got to teach a kid how to but it, like somebody said something a while ago. I don't know if it was Jae or Original Soul, but when did he wear that every day? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because because you are still bringing forth a distraction. Those kids they fifth graders. They know what you are. They know what you are, man.
Well, and okay, let's play devil's advocate because I guess you say the other situation is now, is he bringing it on himself, or I guess so you say he's bringing it on himself. But like he could be because of the fact that he's choosing to dress with the pink lipstick and the pink, so we typically associate pink and women, feminine and things like that with women. Excuse me. Excuse me about that. So is he bringing it on himself, or could he have handled it a different way and still addressed the little boy calling him Mr. Lady? Because the thing is, fifth graders, what's it to them? That's
two things. One, you still have to be respectful. You don't put your hands on anybody. One.
Yeah.
Two, what are the parents saying about how they should tell their kids, hey, when you're going to that schoolhouse, you're supposed to be respectful to whoever is giving you instruction.
But check this out.
What is the school saying about this teacher?
Right. Yeah. Right. To me, that's number two, because the parent is not there for one, but you sending your kid into an environment, and you're trusting that this school is putting your kid in a certain environment that's protecting them, that's helping him and learning him. But when you got a teacher coming through the door like that, the school, to me, like you just said, it's more accountability up on that school, the principal, the district, and all that type of stuff on what are y'all allowing, because that is a shocker to kids, man. I'm just sorry. That's a shocker.
Well, but then he in my mind, he could have set him down, or depending on, here's the thing, if they were yelling back and forth and it was already heated, calling him Mr. Lady, probably in that moment, like, you gonna get disrespected. If he's yelling back and forth and the kid is already now challenged you and So depending on the circumstance, or if he was being teased or something like that, somebody like they bet the kid to say, I bet you won't tell, I bet you won't say that. So you don't know the context of how that happened. But I do think smacking the kid, that's a little too far, because you coming in there looking how you looking, and it's opposite of probably what most kids are seeing.
For sure.
So it's not a normal thing yet.
Right.
But at the same time, I do think that even if that is your lifestyle, you need to pick and choose when when it's appropriate. Because fifth graders, you already know, if you dealing with fifth graders on a regular basis, they ain't wrapped too tight. Right. They just not.
Right.
They're not. They still repeating. Yeah. They're repeating stuff that they shouldn't be repeating from home. Right. They're doing all these different things right now that they don't have any kind of coof about themselves. If we're being honest, they just say whatever come out their out of their mind and out their mouth. And we as adults have to, account for that too.
And
But
I
let's
think
go ahead and
I
go
want to say
ahead.
one more thing. I think we're putting a lot on these kids' shoulders, though, when it comes to this gender stuff, transgenderism, and all. We put a lot on their shoulders and a lot of responsibility that they're not responsible. They are not even in a responsible state yet. You know what I'm saying? And we are asking them to be responsible enough and accountable enough to deal with that type of situation. I think we got to check ourselves as adults and administration and all that type of stuff a lot more to understand what you're dealing with. What do you let coming into that classroom? That's like, it's be different if it's high school, but this is elementary.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point, and we'll wrap this part up. But I think that
Yeah.
is a great point. The different levels of school matter too,
Yeah.
because in high school, you see a lot of the guys and girls being transgender, and there's a norm to that. So there's a more of an acceptance in that age range than it is where the kids, they don't really understand what's going on yet. So I think that's a good point. And Original Soul, did you want to wrap it up with what you wanted to say on that?
Yeah, I kind of did, because the thing is, I still feel like it needed to be a teachable moment. That teacher needed to be able to better de-escalate that situation, because at that age, it's such an impressionable age that when you go from elementary, because I remember for myself, elementary, you see, you're still learning about a lot of things.
Absolutely.
By the time you get to middle school, now you're dealing with all of these different type of students. Because where I was going to school, it was predominantly Black. You get to middle school, now you have Black, you have Hispanic, you have white, and you're going to deal with all these different cultures and a different way of thinking. So it's like, if you're not teaching them from the beginning, it's going to go into a whole different thing, and you're not going to be ready for it. So that teacher needed to learn how to better de-escalate the situation instead of slapping somebody's child.
Right.
Let the parent find out what happened. I guarantee you, they're going up to the school, and it's going to be a even different situation. Now you're on Channel 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He was arrested, so he made the news.
Or you might be in ER. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, but I think we can come to a consensus where we do feel like this could have been a different situation if he used it as a teachable moment. And I agree, because that's elementary school. I had to think about what range that was. That's elementary, not middle. Right. Even in middle school, there's probably a different level of tolerance too. So high school, for sure, would have been a better place for that to be. But let's go ahead and wrap this show up. We want to make sure we let everybody know how to follow us individually, as well as how to follow the show and the QOC network. You can like and subscribe and share the channel. Let everybody know about us in the mix. In the mix.
We're gonna win down.
Hey, there you go. This is the voice of our intro music and outro music.
Hey, so we need that again. I'm gonna hear that again. That was jazz. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Be sure to follow the show at QOC Network everywhere, I think. And in the mix. Stay tuned. Jae Marie.
In the mix. In the mix. In the mix. Admit